We are really excited about welcoming you to our graduation ceremonies. Due to COVID-19, things will be a little different. Instead of shaking hands with the Vice-Chancellor, you'll doff your cap. This means that when your name is called as you walk across the stage and meet the Vice-Chancellor, doff your cap. Don't take your cap off, just put your right hand to the edge of your cap and give a little nod to the Vice-Chancellor, and then continue walking across the stage. Congratulations on your achievement. If you have any questions about graduation, please visit york.ac.uk/graduation or email graduation@york.ac.uk. Thank you. We are really excited about welcoming you to our graduation ceremonies. Due to COVID-19, things will be a little different. Instead of shaking hands with the Vice-Chancellor, you'll doff your cap. This means that when your name is called as you walk across the stage and meet the Vice-Chancellor, doff your cap. Don't take your cap off, just put your right hand to the edge of your cap and give a little nod to the Vice-Chancellor, and then continue walking across the stage. Congratulations on your achievement. If you have any questions about graduation, please visit york.ac.uk/graduation or email graduation@york.ac.uk. Thank you. We are really excited about welcoming you to our graduation ceremonies. Due to COVID-19, things will be a little different. Instead of shaking hands with the Vice-Chancellor, you'll doff your cap. This means that when your name is called as you walk across the stage and meet the Vice-Chancellor, doff your cap. Don't take your cap off, just put your right hand to the edge of your cap and give a little nod to the Vice-Chancellor, and then continue walking across the stage. Congratulations on your achievement. If you have any questions about graduation, please visit york.ac.uk/graduation or email graduation@york.ac.uk. Thank you. We are really excited about welcoming you to our graduation ceremonies. Due to COVID-19, things will be a little different. Instead of shaking hands with the Vice-Chancellor, you'll doff your cap. This means that when your name is called as you walk across the stage and meet the Vice-Chancellor, doff your cap. Don't take your cap off, just put your right hand to the edge of your cap and give a little nod to the Vice-Chancellor, and then continue walking across the stage. Congratulations on your achievement. If you have any questions about graduation, please visit york.ac.uk/graduation or email graduation@york.ac.uk. Thank you.
Graduates, guests, and colleagues, my name is Sharon Oakley from York Alumni Association. I am delighted to welcome you to your graduation celebration ceremony. I have a few announcements to make before we begin so that you can relax and enjoy the ceremony. Graduates, an easy job to start with. Please check that your seat number matches the number on your ticket, because you will be called to the stage in this order. If you discover that these do not match, our team of stewards can help you locate the correct seat. At the appropriate time, you will be invited by the stewards to stand and make your way to the foot of the stairs, ready to head up the stairs and across the stage. All very straightforward. There are two key things which make for a seamless ceremony. Firstly, as soon as the person ahead of you begins to cross the stage, please make sure that you make your way up the stairs. Please don't wait until they have passed across the stage before you reach the top of the stairs. Secondly, don't let excitement and pride overwhelm you so much that you forget to pick up your celebratory parchment after you have crossed the stage. If you do, don't worry, but please don't try to go back, because you will collide with someone coming the other way. Instead, please visit the graduation information desk in the Market Square, where you collected your gown, about 30 minutes after the ceremony. Graduates, you are asked to raise or doff your cap rather than shake hands with the Chancellor when you are called on stage. And please feel free, if you are wearing a face covering, to remove it temporarily whilst on the stage, and pause for a moment at the spot marked X in the center of the stage for that all-important photo opportunity. At the end of the ceremony, graduates are asked to process out of the hall directed by the stewards. Family and friends, the stewards will show you to the exits once the graduates have left the hall. If the fire alarm should sound at any point, please remain in your seats. Instructions will be given, and we will escort you to the nearest exit. When you graduated, you became part of the alumni of the University of York, and you joined an international community of over 140,000 York alumni in 180 countries. Your Alumni Association is a vibrant and active global network offering events, services, and opportunities designed to help you make connections with other alumni around the world and to support your career development. We will be there with you every step of the way as you embark on this next chapter, and you will have received an email giving further details of the ways in which you can remain connected and involved. In the meantime, please follow our social media channels on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and check out the Alumni Association website to keep in touch and learn more about your life as a York graduate. As you get your first job or take up further study and training, please remember to keep us in touch with what you are doing. Understanding the career paths that you will take help us to provide the right support for current students and make sure we continue to offer graduates like you relevant information and opportunities. Finally, can I please ask that you mute your mobile phones? And if you are comfortably able, would you now please stand?
Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon and welcome to this ceremony of celebration of awards here at the University of York. Please do be seated. First, by way of introduction, my name is Malcolm Grant. I'm the Chancellor of the University. The Chancellor of the University is not the person who runs the university. That's the Vice-Chancellor, but you can't have a Vice-Chancellor without a Chancellor, hence the Chancellor. However, there is an almost invariable rule in universities across this country that the Chancellor is either a member of the royal family or is a glittering celebrity. I know, you can't see the link. And you're right, because York always does things differently. I have the great honour of being the Chancellor because I have, I think, a history of academic life throughout my life. I love universities. I've had involvement in universities from the junior level up to senior level, and I find the university model of discipline and of thought and of interdisciplinary work absolutely compelling. Hence, the ceremony that we are about to participate in today is a ceremony for mathematics and physics. You know, 100 years ago when I was a young student, we regarded the physicists and the mathematicians as the towering brain boxes of the university. We were really quite scared of mathematicians and of physicists, and I understand this is probably still true across the campus here at the university. In fact, the professors assure me that it is true across the University of York. But the interesting thing is the extent to which in recent decades these two disciplines have become so fundamental. Not only to our understanding of life, but also to our understanding of what it is that we need to be doing in the coming decades for the future of the planet. I am amazed by the array of degrees that we're about to confirm this afternoon, about the array of range from fusion in the case of physics through to high-level mathematics. I'm amazed by the way in which algorithms are now coming to govern our lives. Clever mathematicians like these are designing Amazon to make it possible for us to get our parcels tomorrow. More importantly, we see the use of mathematics across all the disciplines. We see the use of mathematics, I see particularly in health sciences, the use of computation alongside biology, the use of computation in order to be able to interpret digital radiology, so that through algorithms and following artificial intelligence through neural circuitry models, we can now identify through pattern identification where it is in a digital X-ray that there is a tumour or another growth that a clinician would not necessarily detect for themselves. So I have enormous respect for that combination of physics and mathematics that runs into the health service. And I confess I spent 7 years as the chair of NHS England and was amazed at the pace of change through the advancement of science that allowed us more accuracy in early detection of disease, early intervention, and hopefully improved models of therapy for the population of this country. I'm particularly impressed today that we will be awarding, sorry, we're not even awarding degrees, I must correct myself. You've already got them, but you're back. This is a really emotive thing for the whole university, that you didn't have to come back, but you've come back because getting a degree online is not the same as getting a degree here in person with everybody in Central Hall and with friends and family. The other thing that has been common to all of these ceremonies, by the way, has been the extent to which people have dressed up, clothes and shoes. And then we put you in these French grey robes in order to disguise whatever it is that you're wearing. And there is only one exception in the room, and it's me. So what I wanted to emphasize is the gratitude that the university has to you. This is a collective act of coming together again and displaying the York spirit and the community spirit of the University of York. One final thing is that in many of our ceremonies, we confer an honorary degree. An honorary degree is the highest degree a university can give. There are no exams. There's no thesis. All that is necessary is a lifetime of distinction. and brilliance. And we have today a candidate whose career will be outlined to you by the orator towards the end of our ceremony, and that's Professor Diane Coyle, who's with me here, but I will have a very special personal addendum to that. It's bad enough to have one honorary degree in the family, but we have two. 2 days ago, I had the privilege of conferring an honorary degree on her husband, Rory Keflin-Jones, who is with us on the stage. Here he is, the celebrated BBC journalist, reporter, and producer on technology. So I think this is a very special occasion, and we will be celebrating their achievements later on. It gives me enormous pleasure to declare open this ceremony for the celebration of awards. Thank you.
As we celebrate the achievements of students, we also wish to recognize the staff who have contributed to your success. York has an outstanding record of teaching excellence. What students will remember long after graduation, though, are the individual members of staff and graduate teaching assistants who have supported, challenged, and inspired them. The Vice-Chancellor's Teaching Awards recognize and reward both individuals and teams who have made an outstanding contribution and impact to the student learning experience. All holders of these awards have demonstrated excellence in their teaching or the support they provide for learning, delivered with energy, care, and commitment. A Vice-Chancellor's Teaching Award has been made to Dr. Phil Lightfoot, Department of Physics. Professor Martin Bees will now present awards for the Department of Mathematics.
Chancellor, I have the honour to present the following candidates for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy in Mathematics, for research in temperature dependence and circadian rhythms, Paula Andrea Avelo Fernandez. For research in the mathematics of randomness and shuffling cards, Oliver Matthew Raven. For research in metric Diophantine approximation on manifolds, Alessandro Pezzoni. For the degree of Doctor of Philosophy in Mathematics with foundation phase for research in quantifying war mathematics of modern war, Brennan Fagan. For the degree of Master of Science in Mathematical Finance, Etso Bella. Sarah Nagawa. Matthew O'Donnell. Jason Wong. For the degree of Master of Science in Mathematical Sciences, Amelia Piper. Bunlang Tachai. For the degree of Master of Science in Statistics and Computational Finance, Kendall Alte, Eukunle Jimny. For the degree of Master of Mathematics in Mathematics, Sam Algie. Eleanor Bale. Elizabeth Bland. James Bradshaw. Ellie Brown. Mark Brown. Daniel Burton. Thomas Castle. Katie Chedsoy. Beth Dixon. James Dolan. Ryan Grundy. Cameron Hardy. Ryan Kilgallen. Harkin Karagaya. Owen Lee. Claire Maiden. James Martins. Prince Oliver Buru. Jake McGuffrey. Joseph McLeish. Joshua Moyer. Apologies. Tom Muxworthy. Chris Oldnall. Luke Osborne. Akshay Pathiyath. Joshua Pym. Callum Richardson. Rebecca Richmond. Holly Rizzo-Gill. Isaac Robertson. Philip Smith. Ben Stacey. Jack Edward Theakston. Jack Woodruff. For the degree of Master of Mathematics in Mathematics with a year in industry, Gabriel Rocky. For the degree of Master of Mathematics in Mathematics and Computer Science, Lyndon Park. Alaska Simpson. For the degree of Master of Mathematics in Mathematics and Computer Science with a year in industry, Nicholas Barry. Thomas Hickman. For the degree of Master of Mathematics in Mathematics and Physics, Mitch Aitchison. Daniel Howard. Gregory Parrot. Christian Stickles. For the degree of Master of Physics in Mathematics and Physics, Lucy Madewell. Sophia Pagonis. For the degree of Bachelor of Science in Computer Science and Mathematics, Ethan Black. James Capel. Alexander Manders. Mikhail Pascal. For the degree of Bachelor of Science in Computer Science and Mathematics with a year in Industry, Jack McPoland. Jacob Salter. Matthew Woodley. For the degree of Bachelor of Science in Economics and Mathematics, Matt Ancliffe. Adam Arain. Daniel Engel. James Gallagher. James Godwin. William Lawton. Ryan Westgate Rajol. For the degree of Bachelor of Science in Mathematics, William Allen. Lucy Armitage. Jamie Attia. Laura Baxter. Maisie Beckett. Amelia Bell. Edward Blythe. Jack Booth. Oliver Bolt. Jade Brewer. Felix Carter. Grace Clark. Amelia Clarkson. Harry Clay. James Colton. Luke Colville. Scott Connors. Daniel Conway. Andrew Cornish. Tulula Colt. Phoebe Dalton. Chloe Davey. Akshay Devasar. Oliver Dillaway. Elizabeth Dolphin. Matthew Earl. Kate Eddington. Ali El Sheikh, Josie Felton, Katie Fisher, Jacob Flower, Megan Foster, Thomas Fotinos, Moad Gashut, Daniel Gibbons, Joshua Golding, Willow Gossan, Lydia Gunby, Thea Handy, Lucy Harris, Susan Harris, Amelia Hilton, Rebecca Hodges, Chloe Hodson, Mia Holly, Cameron Huddart, Jamie Hyde, Ranji, Matthew Johnston, and Sophie Knapp.
Ladies and gentlemen, musical ensemble E Anonyme will now perform I Want You Back, arranged by Rachel Singer.
When I had you to myself, I didn't want you around. Those pretty faces always make you stand out in a crowd. But someone picked you from the bunch, and one glance is all it took. Now it's much too late for me to take a second look. Oh, baby, give me one more chance. Show you the love you want. You please let me back in your heart. Oh, darling, I was blind to let you go. But now, since I see you in his arms, I want you back. Yes, I do now. I want you back. Ooh, baby. Yeah, 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 yeah. Na, 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 na.
Trying to live without your love is one long sleepless night. Let me show you, girl, that I know wrong from right. Every street you walk on, I leave tear stains on the ground. Following the girl I didn't even want around. Let me tell you now, baby, all I need is one more chance. Won't you please let me back in your heart? Oh, darling, I was right to let you go. To let you go, baby. And now, since I see you, it is
Let me tell you now, ooh, baby, all I need is one more time. Show you that I love you, won't you please let me back in your heart. Oh, darling, I was blind to let you go, baby. Now, since I see you in his arms, oh, baby, all I need is one more time. Show you that I love you, baby, baby, back in your heart. Oh, darling, I was blind to let you go, baby. Now, since I see you, I want you back.
Professor Martin Bees will once again present awards for the Department of Mathematics.
Chancellor, I have the honour to present the following candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Science in Mathematics. Harry Large. Shenxiang Liao. Edward Little. John McKender. Nima Mana. Elizabeth Mason. David Matthews. Jamie Milne. Matthew Mincher. Eloise Morris. Joseph Murphy. Emily Miles. Chelsea Nichols. Hannah Ord. Emily Osborne. Samuel Owens. Megan Parry. Melissa Parry. Sarah Parry. Kian Popat. Chloe Poltney. Harry Pratt. Ryan Charles Price. Dominic Proctor. Sophie Robinson. Mika Rodriguez. James Roger. Ewan Rogers. Oliver Rogers. Samuel Russell. Shini Saktival. Joel Sebastian. Thomas Seekings. Jay Senthil Kumar. Linru Shi. Adasoji Shonibare. Joseph South. Jack Staniland. Charlotte Stevenson. Lara Stott. Joshua Taylor. Brian Terry. Mark Tones. Liam Towell. Sophie Wagstaff. Sophie Williams. Lee White. For the degree of Bachelor of Science in Mathematics with a year in Europe, Ellen Gordon. Emily Kral. Sarah Taylor. For the degree of Bachelor of Science in Mathematics with a placement year, Eloise Gall. Richard Kai. Joel Rafe. For the degree of Bachelor of Science in Mathematics and Finance, Yufan Zhang. Bimul Manak. Reese Powell. Philip Varley. Wei Shi Zhu. For the degree of Bachelor of Science in Mathematics and Philosophy, Malindi Felfel. Ria Hu Quarty. Anis Saunders Webb. Kira Walton. William Wilson. Steph Yushani. For the degree of Bachelor of Science in Mathematics and Physics, Ashley Butterfan. Jake Chadwick. Jake Kennedy. Emilia Zuzachi. George Omar. Matthew Rubens. Robert Runciman. Joshua Thomas. For the degree of Bachelor of Science in Mathematics and Statistics, Monica Dutt. Kieran Edmonds. Chloe Gall. None of those. Jamie Che.
Professor Kieran Gibson will now present awards for the Department of Physics.
My name is Andrew Pratt. I'm deputising for Professor Kieran Gibson, who unfortunately can't be here today. Chancellor, I have the honour to present the following candidates for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy in Physics. For research in autonomous photonic biosensor, Alexander Drayton. For research in exact density functionals for electronic systems, Michael Entwistle. For research in analysis of graphene using Raman spectroscopy, Jennifer Ferguson. For research in quantum effects in 2D Dirac materials, Frederico Ferreira de Souza. For research in, for research in magnetic interface structures in exchange bias, Joseph Gompertz. For research in shape coexistence of nuclei and beta NMR at Isolde, Robert Harding. For research in spin dynamic simulations of iridium manganese, Sarah Jenkins. For research in collectivity in N=Z nuclei, Ryan Llewellyn. For research in super deformation of 28 silicon, Luke Morris. For research in shape coexistence and evolution of bismuth nuclei, Christopher Raison. For research in resonant light emitters for silicon photonics, Lewis Reeves. For research in plasmas with biomedical applications, Frederick Riedel. For research in many-body quantum thermodynamic properties, Amy Scalp. For research in molecular simulations of DNA-protein interactions, George Watson. For research in computational modeling of DNA-drug interactions, Bo-Yeor Ye. For research in development of radiation counting system, Rubina Yusuf. For the degree of Doctor of Philosophy in Plasma Science and Fusion Energy, for research in beyond axisymmetry in tokamak plasmas, Mikhail Anastopoulos Stanis. For research in the edge transport barrier in jet tokamak plasmas, Laszlo Horvath. For research in confinement of a net electricity spherical tokamak, Bhavin Patel. For research in measuring temperature in shop solids with X-rays, Ashley John Poole. For research in simulations of ALM instabilities for mast U, Siobhan Smith. For research in modeling power exhaust in the tokamak edge, Michael Wigram. For the degree of Master of Science in Fusion Energy, Rosie Barker. Miles Glover. Timothy Hall. Benjamin Harris. Michael Lee. Connor McQueen. Connor Vintiner. For the degree of Master of Physics in Physics, Caris Abbott. Connor Aird. Alexander Armstrong. Alice Attenborough. Daniel Barry. James Baxter. Amy Bickford. Imhotep Booth. George Bradbury. Joseph Church. Amber Cooper. Cesar Falco. James Faulkner. Jed Freeman. Holly French. Emma Healings. Christopher Herdman. Alistair Hickman. Matthew Hill. Lewis Ingle. Munisha Islam. Jack Leonard. Craig McDougall. Henry Manthorpe. Samuel McNeil. Charlie Nichols. Ashley Ruane. Reuben Russell. Michael Senior. Holly Shanks. Alexandra Spivey. Megan Thorpe. For the degree of Master of Physics in Physics with a year in industry, Liam Andrew. For the degree of Master of Physics in Physics with Astrophysics, James Orcock. Thomas Bland. Amy Bleasdale. Chloe Bosomworth. Catherine Chippendale. Gabrielle Furr. Alexander Hall Smith. Joseph Hopkinson. Cameron Jarvis. Alexander Jones. George Matthews. Benjamin James Medley. Joshua Nonette Black. Anne-Marie Norton. Alex Pollard. Philip Smith. For the degree of Master of Physics in Physics with Philosophy, Alexander O'Flynn. Christopher Woodyat. For the degree of Master of Physics in Theoretical Physics, Eleanor Rose Broadway. Jed Bai. Joshua Cook. Ben Durham. Jack Hopkinson. Shane Leinart. Thomas Marin. Samuel Markham. Luke Mortimer. For the degree of Bachelor of Science in Physics, Cameron Arkley. Owen Bailey. Owen Brooks. Stephanie Buchanan. David Cartwright. Matilda Cowlishaw. Timothy Evans. Zachary Hannigan. Rachel Hargreaves. Ben Hicks. Zach Hooton. Patrick Hunter. Geraint Jones. William Lee. Zhou Yan Lei. Archie Milan. Henry Mixer. James Morrison. David Papp. Luke Hoxon. Robert Rickson. Louise Sawyer. Nicholas Smedley. For the degree of Bachelor of Science in Physics with a year abroad, Naomi Harris. For the degree of Bachelor of Science in Physics with a year in industry, James Wyatt. For the degree of Bachelor of Science in Physics with Astrophysics, Robert Best. Luke Bullen. William Crook. Luke Davies. James Driscoll. Catherine Grover. Emma Mason. Christopher May. Alex Waring. For the degree of Bachelor of Science in Physics with Philosophy, Gina Burley Staffieri. Amelia Singh Evans. Apra Lelevier-Bennett. Elizabeth Manning. Liam Powney. Bethany Terrace. Kieran Venner. For the degree of Bachelor of Science in Physics with Philosophy, with a year abroad, Samuel Gavin Pitt. For the degree of Bachelor of Science in Theoretical Physics, Arthur Henry. Leopoldine Patzani. Lucas Saunders. For the degree of Bachelor of Science in Theoretical Physics with a year in Industry, James Brisbane. Sean Darcy. For the degree of Bachelor of Science in Theoretical Physics, Finlay Wolfson. And for the degree of Bachelor of Arts in Mathematics and Linguistics, Tisha Anders.
Professor Laura Coronillo from the Department of Economics and Related Studies will now present our honorary graduate, Professor Diane Coyle, CBE.
Chancellor. It is a huge privilege to present our honorary graduate, Professor Diane Coyle, who has distinguished herself for her outstanding contribution to the public understanding of economics. Professor Diane Coyle is a Bennett Professor of Public Policy at the University of Cambridge and co-director of the Bennett Institute, where she heads research under the themes of progress and productivity. Diane is also director of the Productivity Institute, a fellow of the Office for National Statistics, an expert advisor to the National Infrastructure Commission, and a senior independent member of the ESRC Council. It is quite challenging to summarize her contributions and achievements in just a few words. But let me just mention that after graduating from the University of Oxford and getting her PhD from Harvard, she started her career at the Treasury. Since then, she has served in a number of public service roles, including as Vice Chair of the BBC Trust, member of the Competition Commission, of the Migration Advisory Committee, and of the Natural Capital Committee. In addition to her leading role in public policy, she contributed to the public understanding of economics through her collaborations with The Independent, the Financial Times, the New York Times, and Project Syndicate. She has a very active blog, The Enlightened Economist, where she writes about economic books and posts reviews. And she's a lead editor of the Economics Observatory, a project that aims at bridging the gap between academic research, government policy, and the general public by providing balanced and reliable answers to the economic questions about COVID-19 and its aftermath. What characterizes Diane Coyle's work is her interdisciplinary approach to the key policy challenges of our times. She specializes in the economics of new technologies and competition. Her core contribution is on the understanding of how technology is changing the economy and society. She has been writing about this since 1997, when we all started noticing the internet. This year marks the 25th anniversary of the publication of her first book about digital technology, The Weightless World. This was the first book to map an economic world turned upside down by digital technology and global business. It was a call to develop new public policies for the age of the digital economy. Professor Yankoil's work has greatly advanced our understanding of how to better measure the digitally transformed economy and how governments should update their policies for the digital era. In particular, how to regulate competition in digital markets. Professor Yankoil wrote numerous books since then. She's the author of the best-selling book, GDP, A Brief But Affectionate History, and her latest book, Cogs and Monster, What Economics Is and What It Should Be, just came out last October. In this book, she offers a roadmap for how economics could play a more positive role in the society of the 21st century. She vocally advocates for more diversity in the profession, not only with respect to gender, but also ethnicity and class. Only by having a more diversity in the profession, economics can live up to the challenges of this century. And this starts here, where we train the economists of the future. The University of York is committed to creating a community where diversity is recognized, valued, and celebrated. Professor Yankoil has also greatly influenced the curriculum of the new generation of economists. She's a patron of the Economics Network, an academic organization devoted to improving the teaching and learning of economics in universities. And in the aftermath of the global financial crisis, she has been the chair of the steering group of an economics curriculum reform in UK universities. This group recommended a more pluralist undergraduate education, starting with introducing economic history in the curriculum. This is something that here at York, we always felt very strong about. The Department of Economics and Related Studies at the University of York has a long tradition in economic history and offers economic history modules to all its students. And by the way, notice that we embraced pluralism even in our name, Department of Economics and Related Studies. Conferring a honorary degree to Professor Yankoil sends a powerful signal that this university is rewarding public service and is committed to being a university for the public good. Chancellor, for her outstanding contribution to the public understanding of economics, I present Professor Yankoil for the honorary degree of Doctor of the University, honoris causa.
I won't keep you long. I'm profoundly grateful to the University of York for awarding me this honour. I grew up on the other side of the Pennines, but I've got family connections and have made many visits to York, including for the wonderful Festival of Ideas. When I graduated in the early 1980s, things were quite different. There was no internet or smartphones. We only had 3 TV channels. You could afford to get a mortgage on a house when you left university, and there were no student loans. But it wasn't all good, because only 15% of people then went to university, and the Human League and Shakin' Stevens were top of the charts. But there were similarities too. We had oil price shocks, and the cost of living started rocketing. We were worried about automation destroying jobs, and the cotton mills where I grew up in Lancashire started to close down one by one. We were concerned about nuclear conflict. We had nightmares as teenagers about it. And then we went into the Falklands War and the miners' strike. I want to say a huge congratulations to all of you now who are embarked on your post-uni voyage. There have been some tough times in the past 2 years, and I think there are some unsettled times ahead. But you can be so proud of what you've achieved, and I hope that you take away with you from York, as well as all the skills that you've learned and taken into your jobs, an open mind and a spirit of optimism, ready for whatever your future holds. So that's it from me. Thank you again to the university, and congratulations to all of you.
Ladies and gentlemen, I will shortly declare the congregation closed, and we'll be closing with a brief video that has been especially prepared for these ceremonies. But before I do, I've got a couple of duties that I must discharge. These ceremonies and your existence at the University of York exist only because of the efforts of others as well as of you. And the most important others for the ceremonies are those who have done the work to prepare the ceremonies so meticulously that you are actually in the right seat, and by and large the right name is called as you come to walk across here. And by the way, walking across here is a sort of trial of death, certainly with heels. And so congratulations to everybody who did that. But much more importantly, the staff of this university had to turn the institution around from January 2020 quite quickly to try to go to an online provision, to try to make sure that your education was disrupted as little as possible. It wasn't always successful. I know a number of people have suffered from dislocation and isolation and difficulty. But one thing that seemed to me always to distinguish this university from many others that I read about in the press was the community spirit, was the relationship of trust between the staff and you, the students. So you'll realize, of course, that many of the staff have suffered as well. The disease did not leave them alone, and there has been loss and depression and isolation amongst the staff. When I talk about the staff, it's not just the leadership and the academic staff, it's all the staff. We're talking about the estates and facility staff. We're talking about the cleaning, cuisine, the cooking staff. We're talking about those who work in the registrar's office. All the people who do jobs that are often completely invisible to us, but without whose work we wouldn't be here today. I'm making this a special request because this is the last ceremony in this week of ceremonies of celebration. It's been ceremony number 16. We have 2 ceremonies tomorrow which are for students who are graduating because they started their postgraduate courses in January 2021. But you are the last cohort of those that we are celebrating with this week. And so I would like to be able to hear from you, please, a round of applause for the staff who have made this possible. And then my second vote of thanks is a very obvious one. It's for our families, those who have supported you through this period, those that are here today. Some of them, of course, are from afar, are watching this ceremony online, and it would be difficult for us to express more wholly the debt that we owe to them. I thought that last round of applause was a bit quiet, by the way. So, friends and family, thank you for everything you've done. So thank you all for the doffing, by the way. The doffing is quite an innovation. In the course of this whole week, I've shaken hands with only one person. And he was the one-year-old grandson of a PhD graduate this morning. I think he might have got a degree by mistake, but it was a super occasion. And that has demonstrated to me just how family-oriented these events are. So the last round of applause really is for you. And whenever I look at the degrees which we have been confirming today, I see the future of the planet there when we're talking about plasma, if we're talking about the sudden energy shock that Diane referred to in her address. We think about global climate change. Mathematics and physics lie at the heart of all of this. So no pressure. But you are our future. Thank you so much again for coming today. Our graduates.
student at the University of York, is one of the 2 Chinese citizens who have tested positive for the coronavirus in the UK.
So
Although
this
the university
statement
said
from
it
Public
has
Health
been
England
Daily Mail has the headline,
confirming
"Is the
that
killer
the 2
virus
people
here?"
had been
Pictures of
staying
people
in
with
York.
masks over their
Coronavirus
faces.
is a student at the University of York. Mike Kemp from our newsroom.
Begin in
When the first case in the UK was discovered here in York, I was visiting one of our partner universities, Maastricht in the Netherlands. Being the first case, there was obviously no script for us to follow. But at the same time as having the world's media looking at us, everybody was here. We brought together a contingency group, medical experts, others who could help us think through the issues that we might face. And we worked from the outset with the City Council and the other educational institutions in the city. Well, we knew very little about the virus at the time, and our overriding concern was to keep people safe and to give them the reassurance that we could, and to prepare for what followed, what became probably the most challenging year the university has ever faced.
At the time, I think emotions were kind of all over the place. There was so much uncertainty, which provided you a little bit of fear for the unknown and panic about what's going to happen next. The university was brilliant in that regard. They set up a phone line for students, for parents, for staff within the first 24 hours that anyone could call for any questions and reassurance.
The key thing was listening to students and making sure that they could see leadership and also a lot of compassion and kindness because, it was an uncertain time both for staff and for students. One of the main things the university did was introduce the Emergency Student Support Fund, one of the first universities in the UK to do so, recognising that students would lose things like part-time work and there'd be various financial challenges facing students. And that was really important to give students that financial certainty wherever they were.
We actually listened to what students and staff had to say. And with students, we listened to what they had to say through their elected student representatives, being members of our contingency groups, and also by conducting pulse surveys as well, so that we captured the mood and indeed what students actually wanted, and we responded to that. We managed to get all of our teaching and learning online within a week of the pandemic starting, which I think is a remarkable achievement. We provided roughly about 6,000 welfare calls or checks on students in self-isolation throughout the pandemic. We actually provided lockdown loot for students as well, so we provided food, treats, activity packs, and even hampers at Christmas as well.
So clearly we would expect the university to step into the knowledge space and provide a greater, deeper understanding of the virus. However, the University of York went much further than that. It engaged communities, it's provided open access to equipment and facilities and space. It provided us with leadership and support and was very much a partner in dealing with the impacts of the pandemic on this city.
What I've learnt about the University of York community in the last year is that we are incredibly resilient and resourceful, that we're compassionate, that when we say that we're a university for public good, we actually live it as well, and it's about being a community that works together. I have a number of favourite stories from students. That actually one concerns students actually working with elderly members of the local community to ensure that they could get access to the internet. So they provided training sessions and support so that these people could actually contact their relatives.
The founders of this university talked 60 years ago of what we, our staff, our students, would do to ameliorate human life and conditions. What a sense of purpose for a university to have, and my goodness, how much it has been our compass over the last year. That's what defines the University of York.
Ladies and gentlemen, I declare this congregation for the celebration of awards to be closed, but please carry on celebrating. Please stand up for the academic procession.